Hello everyone and welcome to Learning with Princess Aisha. I hope you're all doing well. My an educative channel dedicated towards the teaching of interesting topics that may be of paramount interest to each individual that might come across this video. Video is tailored towards the new CTA that has been updated recently by Ofsted. So what is CTA? Somebody may ask. So CTA stands for Curriculum, Teaching and Achievements, which obviously coincides with the previous this coincides with the old three I's, which is the intent, implementation, and impacts. Some sort of a framework. So as a practitioner, you can use language, as a form of critical locomotion in promoting children's curiosity through active play. So like I said, the curriculum is basically the development matters. That guides practitioners what to teach children in order to meet their overall learning and development needs. Focuses on children's the 7 areas. So personal, social, emotional development, PSED, communication and language, literacy, mathematics, and expressive arts and design, physical development, as well as physical development. So the 7 areas. So obviously for the babies, it's just three areas: physical development, communication and language, as well as the PSED. We've just focused on what the C stands for. That's the curriculum. We're going to focus on the T. That is the teaching aspects. So teaching aspects. So what does teaching? We all know what teaching is. So this, basically refers to how children are being taught. And we know there are different diverse methods of teaching, such as through demonstration, through narrative, and through demonstration. So yeah, the diverse form of teaching: explanation, demonstration, and narrative. So storytelling. So how can you use narrative method of teaching to help support children? So narrative form of teaching basically to tell children what you are doing. So if it's a focus activity, you have to obviously tell children what it is about, to get them informed, so that they know what is expected of them, and how you want the activity to go. The narrative form of teaching can also be a means by which children can share their lived experiences, their real life experiences, by telling story of maybe a visit to the park, holiday visits and what have you, and based on pertaining to maybe a topic for the month, maybe on family, focus on family. They could share those experiences, and the practitioner could obviously build on that, to meet their learning needs. With the explanation method, obviously we have to, take time in giving details of what an activity is about. So, for example, let's say you have, a plain flour and you incorporating some sort of a red liquid in there, and so it transitioned from plain flour into a red dough. So you have to explain to the children, you have to actually carry them through the process of how the plain flour was able to transition from its plain state to that of a more colorful state. With the demonstrative form of teaching, you have to, use role modeling. So you as the practitioner have to role model, whatever you want the children to learn, or whatever the topic for the week is. And by so doing, for example, the next step for the children is to learn how to pronounce the letter O, so the O sound. So as a practitioner, octopus, orange, octopus. And by so doing, the children we are likely to also repeat after you, thereby also promoting their communication skills and obviously improving of their vocabulary as well. So, modeling of language, by actually demonstrating it, children are able to, learn new words. So it's a form of active, teaching and learning, because children are able to learn new words. And of course, if you've, so you can support children by actively adding to what they are doing through, support children's learning by asking them questions that will build on their learning, by encouraging them to think critically. Example, by saying, I wonder what will happen if we add maybe one more block to the 5 blocks that we already have. I wonder what will happen if we add one more block to the 5 blocks that we already have. So therefore they will be able to, add and then give you the answer, which obviously is 6. So withhold support for children in order to promote their agency, so for example, in the form of risky play, because children are encouraged to take some form of risks as well, obviously not to the detriment of their well-being, but we encourage them to take healthy risk. Effective planning is integral to to children's learning, as well as holistic developments and communication as well. So what does the A stand for? The A stands for achievement. Basically refers to the impact that has been derived from the whatever activity that has been done. So from the onset of the activity right down through its completion, what has children learned? What are the progressive steps that children have taken throughout the activity? So one of them can be, children developing their independent skills, perhaps, becoming more confident in themselves, in trying out activities as compared to being more shy and more reserved. Also have learned new words, so they are more confident in pronouncing words such as octopus, such as orange, such as oval, and children are now confident in taking turns. Topic will be on healthy eating. Check out my healthy eating video. I'll put a link in the description for you to access. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and share if you like this video. Until then, it's a goodbye from me to you. Bye.